Here she is, Andraste. How are you doing today?
Yay! Let's go, Andraste! I'm good. How are you doing, Saturday? Sorry, I had
Doing
to
good.
make my own applause.
I mean, that's what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, you gotta be your own hype man.
Exactly. So, tell the chat who you are.
Hello, how is everybody doing? My name is Andraste. Some people know me as some people know me as Andraste. I'm pretty sure I've been called Astrid by Capri Sun Poppy, the famous
Probably, yeah.
streamer, 1%, richer than me, definitely. And yeah, I started streaming about roughly 5 years ago, and I started off playing Smite. If you don't know, I used to be a big smiter, whatever you want to call it. But I started playing variety, and as Saturday put in his Twitter title, I'm a huge slut for fantasy, which is in my bio, so on Twitter. So I take credit for that. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of fantasy. I know the fucking Elden Ring fantasy world and Skyrim, Elder Scrolls lore like the back of my hand. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really
So, got a
excited.
question right off the bat. Are you okay? Because you play Smite.
I don't play League. I feel
Okay,
like that says
counts.
something.
That does count for something.
I not only have anger problems, I have bad taste in video games. That's the difference between like Smite and League.
At least you don't play League.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there are ways to be mentally ill, and I'm glad I don't do it in a way that is surrounded by just like incels. That I will say, the Smite community, I feel like it does have its issues. But I feel like I don't run into like as many issues regarding like sexism and stuff like that as I would in League. It still happens like any MMO, any online game, but you know, the community is just great, and sometimes I do miss it, even though I don't play as often anymore. But let's see how Smite 2 does. That's all I gotta say.
When is that coming out?
I honestly don't know. I do know they've been doing like patch notes talking about it, so I don't think it's too far off. I really hope they don't pull like a whole Overwatch 2 thing.
Yeah, that was just terrible.
Which I do know, like Overwatch like had something to do, or Overwatch 2 had something to do with like a single person experience or something to do with a story. I don't know exactly. Yeah, I don't play Overwatch, but they pretty much Blizzard promised something extended with Overwatch 2, and they just didn't deliver with it, which Smite 2 isn't going to do that. Like they don't have like any plans to do like anything solo, because that wouldn't make sense for them, because it's more similar to League. But anyway, who knows? We'll see where Hi-Rez goes with that. Yeah. So I hope everybody's excited for that.
So what got you started on streaming? Like, why do you stream?
Well, it's kind of funny. I've always been kind of into the whole idea of content creation. I was very much so the term chronically online before that term was even invented. Like, I remember when YouTube used to be like just a bunch of links on like a white page. And the thumbnail was like a little itty bitty box, and you could barely see it, and you couldn't choose the thumbnail and stuff like that. And there used to be this YouTuber back in like 2009, 2010 who was a Littlest Pet Shop YouTuber. She would take Littlest Pet Shop, and she would like, you know, make stories. Like there was this it was called like LPS, Littlest Pet Shop acronym, LPS CSI. So it was just like her like taking her little toys and like pretending to be like a CSI show and stuff.
That's goofy.
Yeah, so I actually started off on YouTube like when I was like, god damn, like 10-ish. And I would take my little pet shop, and I did one that was Cinderella. I did one that was what's it called? Christmas Carol. Starring my sister. She helped me with that one. Huge shout out to her. And sadly I don't think they're on YouTube anymore, because like they were on there like 10 almost closer to 15 years now.
Crazy.
Damn near. Yeah, I know, time's going by, but content creation has always kind of been like a thing that I've always been interested in. But regarding Twitch, it was actually one of my friends. I always tried to do stuff with YouTube and I couldn't do it. And I've always been inclined to talk to myself, especially during video games. Right. And one of my friends was streaming, and she was like, you should do it. And I was like, fuck yeah. And her dad helped me, pretty much did all the work. When I say helped me build my computer, and it all started from there. Started off with Smite. Actually started off with Destiny. Destiny 2 was my first stream, and then started with Smite.
Right. So why do you like playing Smite when you did play?
Why did I play it, or like what did I enjoy about it?
Why? Like what got you into it?
So Smite, I'm a huge lore whore as well. I think I said this in the beginning. I love lore and I love history. I'm really bad with names and dates, but I love history, especially mythology. Growing up, I used to actually check out books about like Isis and Ra, Bastet, Geb, Nut, all like, and then
Egyptian
other
gods.
Yeah, mostly Egyptian. It was also like Greek, but Egyptian was like it really got my like interest. And I used to play a game growing up called Age of Empires, and then there was also a game called Age of Mythology. It's like a hair or something on my lip, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I started off playing Age of Mythology, and I don't know, I think it was like on addictinggames.com in like 2013. And you know, like those ads that you see on like on the side of your webpage before, like ads were so ridiculous, like you can't even like read the article you're on. So there was an ad for Smite, and I was like, oh my god, that reminds me of Age of Mythology. I love Age of Mythology. So my dumbass clicked on it, and luckily it wasn't yeah. What a surprise! Andraste doesn't have a brain.
Imagine.
That's what imagine that. That's what my mods would say. Anyway, so I clicked on it, and luckily it wasn't a virus. Ta-di-dee, ta-di-da. And yeah, and I started.
I guess you can call it a different kind of virus.
It took a more a mental toll on me than a toll on my computer. That is definitely one way to put it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I clicked on it, I downloaded it. My brother was a huge League player. He used to be really good. I don't think he was like the highest, which I can't remember what it is. I know it's not platinum. I think there's something above platinum, but he was like really high. And so I kind of understood how to play Conquest, is what they call it in Smite. I already knew how to play Conquest because I'd watched my brother play Smite or play League for so many years. And originally I think he played StarCraft. I think it was StarCraft when we were younger. Okay. So I already understood the layout, and I never really, I wouldn't say like I'm necessarily bad at the game, but I didn't really start getting actually decent at the game, or like quote unquote good, until I started streaming, because I was very fortunate to build a community that was very patient with me and knew that I wanted to get better with the game. And during when I first started playing or first started streaming, I had mods and so many other people in my community who would join me and be like, hey, why don't you build your character like this? Or, you know, hey, just letting you know the cooldown for this is a little bit shorter than this ability. You should do this ability first and then that ability. And it's so just kind of amazing that I've been... Things. Yeah, it really is the small things, and that's why I always give the Smite community credit, because I feel like I've met so many people that are more willing to like not train, but like help out another person than I do with League. And I've attempted
Mm,
to play League before, and it just like is very just like you automatically have to be good, otherwise people are very just judgmental unless if you know
right.
them IRL or something like that.
It's unfortunate that we have to be so judgmental towards female gamers. It's ridiculous.
It's actually kind of funny. When I first started streaming, actually no, before I started streaming, I was kind of struggled with misogyny and everything like that, and I didn't think women had it as bad as they would say in video games, because when I was growing up, I didn't really play like online games. I mostly played
Mm,
like Skyrim and Dragon
right.
Age and games that you didn't have to interact with people online. And the few times that I did, like whenever I would play Counter-Strike or I can't think of any, but Counter-Strike, for example, is a prime example.
Mm,
My brothers, I would use their accounts and they wouldn't let me they wouldn't let me talk. They wouldn't let me use their mics. They would
mm,
like sometimes even take it away because they knew about the dangers and they didn't want me to be harassed and everything like that. So I just didn't really experience that. I was very ignorant.
oh,
And I started streaming and I started playing more games that were online centered
mm,
versus games that were more solo. And
right.
I started experiencing it myself, and I was like, oh,
Mm,
the fuck? This is
damn.
wild.
Yeah,
This is wild.
crazy.
Especially Crab Game. I played Crab Game. Worst mistake of my life.
Toxic.
Toxic. And I can deal with it because like it doesn't like really hurt me because I don't know these people. But like at the same time, it was a wake-up call because there are some people who just aren't as thick-skinned when it comes to online
Yeah.
pressure or getting harassed constantly in video games. And sometimes it can be overwhelming for people who are thick-skinned because everybody has those days where they kind of break down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sucks just to deal with that. And like the uh, um being anonymous on the internet is like it's easier to get away with it, but people have been more strict towards it, like the whole cyber bullying thing. It's really unfortunate that we need to deal with it, but that's the reality we live in. So just something that we need to deal with.
Exactly.
Some of the chat's asking, are we gonna see a singing stream?
Sometime in the future, I do want to do some more karaoke streams and singing streams. Especially I was having problems with like my throat like a couple months ago, like last year, but it's doing a lot better. So I do want to do some more, especially when I come back in the future. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, since you bring that up about possibly coming back in the future, I wanna show this tweet that you did, if you don't mind. If that's okay. I think you know what that tweet is. I'll show on the screen here. You can see my stream. The tweet will be there. So, what do you think about that?
I'm not pointing the right way. I've been pointing the wrong way for so long. So I have been. I was like thinking about how I was gonna answer this question, and then asked it. Now I'm all nervous.
I had to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So like I don't want to get into too much detail, but like,
Of course, share whatever you want.
Thank you. Pretty much not living in the best conditions and outside sources, and it's been going on for like a long time, and it's gotten to a point where It's gotten to a point, and everybody who's in my community or everybody that like knows me or has watched my content knows how much I love video games, how much I just am so video game orientated, and it got to a point, it's been affecting my mental health so badly that I don't want to play video games. And it got to a point like there are so many like games that I had promised I was going to play, and I was making promises to my community about like, you know, doing more bitathons and subathons, and
Right.
because of not only the condition of the environment that I'm living in, it also has to do with the motivation of wanting to do things for my, like, not only for myself but for my community. And it's hard, at least personally for me. I get so motivated for other people, but when it comes to myself, I have a really hard time like pulling off that motivation. And it's became this vicious cycle of just promising things, not following through, getting disappointed in myself, and then like just repeating and repeating. And so I kind of like, it was actually kind of like it hit me because I was supposed to be streaming literally like 30 minutes before I was like, okay, I'm making this post, and I was like, I literally can't go live. I don't have the energy. It was kind of like I couldn't entertain. And one thing that I don't know if you know personally, but like I have a mood disorder. I have BPD, and something that a lot of people that suffer from mental, especially regarding mood disorders, is that sometimes the littlest things can trigger us. Sometimes it can ruin our mood, and it can cause us to get like angry at little things, and then it can like disrupt the stream. It can like it can kind of lead you to say and just like do things that you just like you don't really want to do, and like just don't want to say. And it's when you make the decision of somebody who's mentally ill but also want to be a content creator, and especially in my case want to be a content creator that talks about, you know, understanding and love and putting your best foot forward and trying to, you know, see where people are coming from and see the gray between the black and the white in situations, especially online, because those lines are becoming so and so blurred. I was just getting mad at little things. I started posting like online of opinions over things that I wasn't educating myself on, and just similar things like that. And then I realized it was because I felt like I don't feel like I really have control in my physical environment. So then I would go online and try to find control in ways like that. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
No,
it can it can damage my brand, which is me, my face, you know. So and it's not the type of energy that I want to, you know, put out there. I saw this. Yeah, I saw this. I can't remember who said it. I think there's been multiple creators who have said this, that if you want to be a content creator and if you don't know what type of content you want to put out there, think about all the content that you feel like is lacking. You know what I mean? Create the content that you want to see that nobody else is doing. Like if you watch a creator and you're just like, oh, I wish they would do this. I think this would be a great idea. I think that would be funny. It's like, why don't you do it? And I can't do that when like suffering from BPD and everything. I can't do the things that I want to do with my content, with my platform, if I'm constantly feeling on edge, if I'm feeling like I'm going to like on attack mode almost. And that's just something that happens with like BPD and mood disorders. And you see bigger content creators who have mood disorders, who have talked about it, who are spiraling, and it's just like, I personally don't want to be like that. And and yeah, so I'm taking a step back until I can put myself in an environment where I feel safe and I can start keeping the promises that I want to keep,
Yeah, and
and
I hope you
go
do
through.
get stronger, like when you do start up again.
Thank you. I
So,
appreciate that,
yeah,
Saturday.
of course. Um, so when did you find out that you had BPD? Is it genetic or?
Uh, BPD is it's kind of it's not determined by genetics or environment. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a mixture of both. There have been studies that have shown that BPD it's it tends to happen from neglective households, especially households
Mm-hmm.
where kids are um, constantly having like their emotional needs kind of flipped, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, makes sense.
feeling like they're constantly like having to walk on eggshells, or like not understand, or constantly wondering like
Mm-hmm.
if their guardian is upset or happy and stuff like that. So there are studies that are coming out that are showing it to be um having some correlation more with environment, but there are things to do with biological as
Mm-hmm.
well. um like for example, narcissism and BPD actually go in hand because
Oh.
they're kind of like sisters, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually found out when I had BPD, when I was 19 or 20. I had an I had a mental episode and I went to the hospital, and
Oh.
they were like, "Hey, read this book. This might be what you have." And I was like, "Ah, shiznit. This explains a lot." Um, so yeah, I constantly went on and off medication, and I
Mm-hmm.
realized that medication wasn't for me. So I started, reading self-help books. I started watching, um, like educators on YouTube who are verified, like Dr. K,
Mm-hmm.
who talk about BPD, because when you have mental illness, you have to make a choice, especially if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, um, of what suits you the best. Some people it's
Right.
medication, for some people it's not. And if you don't want to have medication, I have found that I need to educate myself not only on my emotions, but I have to
Mm-hmm.
educate myself on the possibilities of how other people may be feeling. And it's also like looking to like self-help books and
Right.
stuff like that.
So how did you be aware of ant travails?
Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
goodness.
have to get
And
into it.
okay. If there is one thing, I will say this. I will say this. As long as he doesn't get canceled for anything that's like super, super bad, I will always say this. If I ever make it, the one person that can say that I made her is Ant. Um, so Ant was actually, and I give huge kudos to, was actually like the person who, which he did this for so many people. If you guys don't know, Ant used to message. I don't know if he still does because he just started the roundtable again. Which I'm so sorry. I fucking said I was going to be on it, and then I forgot, and I logged on, and then there was so many people on. It was like already almost full. It was 10 p.m. and I was like, I don't want. I'll hang out in the chat. I'll hang out in the chat. I'll try next week. But anyway, Ant used to message just so many different people, and I don't know whether it's because the affiliate like tab or whatever. I don't know how he found me. Kind of scary. Should be a little weirded out. Kind of should have blocked him, but I didn't. So anyway, we're here now.
Yeah.
Just
I
kidding.
think you're here now because of Ant.
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's like it's literally been a butterfly effect because he messaged me randomly when I had like 200 followers barely on like any platform, like Instagram, Twitch, whatever. And he was like, "Hey, I'm messaging people. Do you want to go on?" And I didn't look at the message. I mean, I think I viewed it, but it was still like in my like little like you don't know this person on Instagram type of thing. So I ignored it for like months.
Months.
Jeez. Yeah, because like I said, I have always played games by myself. I didn't know how to like really reach out to other creators. I was very socially awkward back then. I'm still socially awkward. I'm just a lot better handling it, and I'm funnier. But
I mean, that's questionable.
I'm funny sometimes, at least. I got on Aunt Prevail's podcast. I have to do something. Or at least have big tits, and I don't got big tits, so it's got to be one of those two things.
Something like that, yeah.
He invited me on, and everybody there, I think I'm trying to remember who originally was all there. Scribbles, I think, was there, obviously, and Saturday, I don't know if you were there the first time I went on. Maybe. But you're always there, so it was definitely, I think we definitely met sometime shortly after.
Right.
But yeah, no, he messaged me, and it's pretty much history after that. I will say this, if you knew me, or if you saw me when I first started streaming on Ant's stuff, I may have gotten a little too drunk sometimes. But listen, I have a good reason why that happened. I have a very good reason. I forgot that alcohol doesn't really hit you until you stand up. And we would be sitting sometimes for almost like 4 hours. And next thing I know, that bottle of like, I don't even know what it would be. Like sometimes it was Jaeger, sometimes it was whiskey, sometimes it was wine. It would be pretty low for a girl my size, especially someone who doesn't drink. I'm more so smoke. So if you knew me, I apologize. Big shout out to Aunt Prevails for making me. I appreciate it. And introducing me to the lovely Saturday and everybody else. So.
Yeah, I think I'm very lovely. I mean, I can be savage at times, as you know me, but...
Savage Saturday.
Yeah, savage day.
Sometimes I drink other things than cider and wine, but you don't want... I have decided mixed drinks and water. Those are my two things, and I try my best not to overindulge and do my stretches and make sure I stand up before I drink anymore.
Every day, especially Saturday. I'm more savage.
Every day, especially Saturday.
So your favorite game, you say is Smite. Unfortunate, but
not my favorite game. Thankfully,
it's not. Okay.
It's not my favorite game. Thankfully, Smite is probably the game that I put the most hours in. I have almost, and okay, this isn't even including Steam too. So, or excluding the web browser. I used to play Smite originally on the web browser. But in Steam alone, I have almost 2,000 hours. Yeah, it's very pathetic. I know. I know. I need
the same way with Hearthstone. So what is your favorite game?
You know what's so funny? I actually thought about this recently, and it's currently growing up. My favorite game was definitely Dragon Age Origins. It's actually that's where my name originates from, is from the Dragon Age series. Andraste is a key figure. She's not a person, but she's like a key figure in the lore for Dragon Age. She's kind of like that version's like Jesus Christ. And honestly, I picked the name because I thought it was pretty and I really liked it, and I love Dragon Age. But I kind of like making the joke that I'm here to save all these losers from bad video game takes because I just feel like there's so many people.
Are you one
Who
of
just
them?
have no, I am not one of these people. So many people that just have these terrible takes about video games, especially Pokemon.
Oh, Jay
Especially
Cyber
Pokemon.
is calling you a goddess.
I
Goddess
try,
of
but I'm
justice.
way too clumsy. I'm way too clumsy, dude. Like,
Goddess
I-
of clumsiness.
yeah, clumsiness and putting my goddamn foot in my mouth. Oh my god. Like, I'm on it. Like, it's because I think you're just so easy to talk to Saturday that I feel like I haven't been fumbling. But when I'm nervous, dude, I say some of the most stupid shit. Andraste's funny knickers. Exactly.
Do you have any interesting stories about that?
Oh god. Honestly, you know what? I have one. So this is roughly, I think, right before I started streaming on Ant's podcast. Yes, okay. So it was right before I started streaming on Ant's podcast. So this is when I was still like really socially awkward and like kind of didn't I understood like the Twitch dynamic, but when I first started streaming in 2018, 2019, that's when a lot of the Twitch culture started changing. So everything that I did know was kind of like fluctuating, and I just didn't really understand the current vibe, especially dealing and communicating with other streamers and kind of understanding social cues. And I managed to get on, don't fucking know how. I managed to get on Gondok's
How'd you pull that off?
Gondok's thing. What?
How did you pull that off?
I don't fucking know, dude. I really don't know. Like, I definitely, in my opinion, I don't fucking know, dude. I feel like now I'm definitely, like, and not just to be like, oh my god, I'm like so hot, guys. But in my opinion, I just like, I know what looks better on me, and like both like aesthetic wise, makeup wise. So I feel like back then I just wasn't as physically attractive as I am now. And I don't know why Gondok took me on. It was for Soda Poppins. It was for Soda Poppins thing, and I used to be a huge Soda Poppin fan. So maybe that's why. Yeah, I just don't watch them anymore. I just don't watch bigger creators besides Moist Critical. That's like the one that I really kind of hang on to. Yeah, and I don't know, dude. I don't even remember some of the things that I said. I just know they would ask me a question and I would kind of not know what to say, so then I would say something that just wasn't really in my character.
Right.
And people would be like, but wait, didn't you just say this earlier? They would kind of catch me on my, like, that I just didn't know what I was going for. And, yeah, it just, I feel like, that's like kind of a prime example, kind of understanding who you are, like, as a content creator, the type of humor you want to go into, and what you want to be known for, like, in that community. And I guess I thought I was ready for a bigger audience, and I wasn't. I just wasn't, like, the whole, like, I don't think there was even that many people in the audience. I think there was like 50 people watching, but to me that was like 5,000, and I was like, oh my fucking god. And I was late too, and I was like, oh my god.
Late as well. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I try to be on time for these things, but I was late because of my job, so it just, yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your Moist Critical. Why do you like him?
About my Moist Critical? Babe, I wish.
Okay.
I wish. No, I'm just kidding. Moist Critical. I've actually been watching Charlie for a long time, since 2013. 2013, wow. I believe. And him, I used to love him. Well, I still love him, but I used to be a big fan of PewDiePie and a lot of other Let's Players. Vanoss. I used to watch Vanoss for a long time. I was never really into, even though I love makeup and fashion, I never really got into like YouTubers because I just felt like it was kind of like filled with drama, and I just, to be honest, I just didn't really care about their personal lives. Like, and I feel like that's what, like, it just like vloggers, YouTubers, I feel like that's like what a lot of their content was, and I just didn't enjoy that. Like, as much as I like the content creator, I care more about what they do with their content and just pretty much that, what they do with their content. And you know, Charlie went from this fucking like not showing his face, playing like these shitty Steam video games, which he still does, but also something that he used to do with his early content. He used to take a video game, like for example, Ocarina of Time, and he would corrupt it, and he would play the game while it was super corrupted. So you have these characters just, I don't know, looking like fucking Resident Evil zombies, but it's supposed to be like Link or like Sarah or something. And he would just have like this stupid dialogue like, I'm gonna rub my nipples so hard they turn into sandpaper, and then I'm gonna jet ski across the world and make a trail longer than the Silk Road. He would just say stupid shit like that, and it was just like, for some reason, so funny to me as a child. But now he's turned his content into, a lot of it is not only like kind of artistic. Like he came out with the not a webcomic. He came out with a comic series, and he has his own podcast with a bunch of friends, which I highly recommend. It's called The Official Podcast. Super funny. It is super funny. It's actually how I found out a lot of video game information. And also, he uses his content to help others, and I love that. And it's not in a way that's like very Mr. Beastish, which I have no problem with Mr. Beast. I just feel like there was this wave of wannabe Mr. Beasts that were very selfish. For example, like David Dobrik, and Charlie, or I feel weird calling him Charlie. Moist Critical does this thing where he really tries to help not only the people in his community, but he tries to help content creators who are passionate about their content creation. And he started his own esports, and part of the reason he started his own esports is because he knew the people, what is it called? Super Smash Brothers. The Super Smash Brothers community were getting completely fucked over by Nintendo. Completely ass fucked. No lube by Nintendo. And he was like, I am so tired of seeing this. People work so hard, especially in the Smash community, and they do it for free. It's like, people should be getting paid for this. They are talented. They put the work in. They put the same amount of work that a person would at a desk job. It's like, why aren't these people making money? And it's just like, that's so inspiring. That's so inspirational. And honestly, that's part of the reason not only I like him, but it's also part of the reason, like, I want to be a content creator. It's because, like, I didn't grow up with a lot, and I want to be able to help not only the people that I love and have supported me. I want to be able to do the same thing that the people that I like and I look up to, and kind of, in a way, inspire my content and inspire my humor. Because face it, when you grow up watching somebody, you inherit their type of, like, it's just like an environment thing. Yeah, you get their humor, you get their like type of like the way they kind of do things. And it's just like, I'm very inspired the fact that he wants to help others the way that he does, especially when it comes to not only content creation, but it comes to video games and smaller things like his community. And I don't know, it's hard to find content creators like that, especially when they especially finding ones that don't have some form of angle. Like I think recently, I forget the name of it, but there was like this huge organization, very, very well known on YouTube, that was like a huge fundraising organization for like people with cancer or something along the lines of that. And then it turns out they were like allegedly, and this is allegedly, take it with a grain of salt, please research it on your own accord because I don't remember all the details. But it's alleged that they were actually stealing the money, and it's so hard to find people like that, and I just really appreciate and respect him.
Yeah, he's awesome. So who is this viewer person in the chat? VURE.
Best friendo. Viewer. By the way, there are so many lovely people in chat. I just wanted to say that and say thank you guys for being here. But viewer is a fellow Jujutsu Kaisen fan. I forget whose Twitter post it was, but they posted a character from Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's like an inside joke that he has a crush on women with like big butts. And one of the women that the main character has a crush on is Jennifer Lawrence. So I responded with a picture of Jennifer Lawrence, and he responded back with best friendo, which is from the anime. And yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite Twitter interactions. But yes, I love anime. Very into anime.
What's your favorite? Do you say Jujutsu Kaisen?
No.
Or what?
No, I enjoyed Jujutsu Kaisen. I wasn't super happy with the most recent season, but that's a long story. We're gonna need another stream for that, because there's gonna be people fighting in the comments. Anyway,
we'll see.
my favorite anime is actually Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is my favorite anime of all time. It's kind of like the same thing with video games. I'm the youngest out of 6 inherently. I've had more siblings before, but that's like another story. Anyway, so like I'm the youngest out of 6. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and I really took more after my brothers than my sisters regarding like interest, and video games and anime were one of them. Especially with more like not edgy, but like more like hard-hitting anime, kind of like not slice of life. We grew up watching like the original Naruto, Inuyasha, Boondocks, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Cowboy Bebop is definitely my favorite of all time.
So you consider Boondocks anime?
I consider it anime, yeah. I think it's anime in the same sense that Avatar is. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
I think it takes inspiration from anime, so I would refer it to like as an American anime, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. So do you watch it dubbed or subtitled?
So I used to be one of those cringe lords that was like, if you don't watch it sub, you're a lesser human being. I'm not like that anymore. But I do watch it sub. There are a couple animes that I will watch dub. Cowboy Bebop, and I do believe are better dubbed. Like I think Cowboy Bebop, the superior version is dubbed, and even I believe the creator of Cowboy Bebop even said that he preferred the dub over the sub. But mostly sub. Like I said, there's a couple, like One Piece. I'm watching One Piece right now. I just started getting to the Arlong Park district. Well, not the district, but like the arc. And
I still have yet to watch it.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I've been really enjoying it. I'm taking a little break because I'm about 70. I like wheeze by 70 episodes, so I'm taking a little bit of a break. And since I'm not playing video games really as much, because like I said earlier, I haven't been playing as much, just been watching a lot more like more shows and movies and anime.
Right. So that's your favorite. Cowboy Bebop. So what got you into anime?
Growing up, my siblings and I, if you grew up in like the early 2000s, you know the TV was always on, like in the background,
Yeah.
or just like somebody was watching TV, or it was on for background noise. So growing up, we used to watch a lot of Cartoon Network, and staying up either super late or waking up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think it was like around 2003-ish is when they started showcasing shows like Naruto, and then eventually Toonami became a thing.
Yeah.
So I think the first show that me and my brothers got into and we would watch kind of like on a weekly basis was Naruto, the original Naruto, not even Shippuden. And it slowly became like a tradition. The original Full Metal Alchemist, we used to watch like so much. The same thing with Inuyasha, that became like a show we would watch like on a weekly basis and everything like that. Yu-Gi-Oh! And just like the whole shish-shabayas. But yeah, some of the like best animes I think I like still hold dear to my heart are like the animes that I used to like watch, like staying up super late with my siblings, and just like I don't know, you can't replace that, especially like don't get me wrong, like Crunchyroll is great and it's so nice having the accessibility to watch a show whenever you want, but like staying up super late and just like hanging out with your siblings, it's just like you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
So going back to the Moist Critical, so I know you cosplay as him, so what got you started to do that?
I just want to classify, I don't cosplay. I've been thinking about cosplaying,
No, you're too quiet.
Oh, now I'm too quiet?
Yeah, I think.
You need me to say random things. I'm good at that. I can be a poor sick orphan. Please, chat. Can I have some more? Please, more primes for Saturday. He really deserves it. He's very nice, and he's a savage. Thank you. Sound good?
Yeah, now do some beatboxing.
That's the best I can do. I can make some weird noises with my mouth, but I can't beatbox.
Let's just stay with that. We're not gonna elaborate on that. So let's see. Try to think. So going back to the video games, you play Elden Ring or Deep Souls or no, Dark Souls?
So I actually, before I started taking my break, I was supposed to play Dark Souls. Elden Ring was the game that got me into Dark Souls. I tried playing it a couple times when I was like younger. Like I think it was like the second or the third one, but I just really couldn't get into it. I was very much of I like the story. I don't like how hard a video game is. I just like breezing by, doing the easy things, just get my shit and leave. And that's another thing that I've like learned to appreciate about streaming is the fact of like trying new games. And I fucking hated Elden Ring the first time I played it. The first time I played it, I literally rage quit. And I think I quit the stream because I was so mad. My community was they were not being easy on me, man. They just kept saying, finger butt, dog. Seek grass, and I'm just like, what is, dude, guys, I don't know what's going on, and I just kept dying.
Really a skill shooter.
I just,
Yep.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to cast incantations. I was so confused, and I'm also playing on keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'm also playing on keyboard, so I fucking rage quit, and I was like, I'm done, I'm never playing that game again, yada yada yada. And then it's funny because one of my mods who likes to pick on me the most actually messaged me privately, and they were like, hey, like, I could tell you're getting frustrated, I'm sorry, like, please try again, like, not now, just somewhere down the line, please try again, because I know for a fact you'll love this game. And I was like, so I think I beat Dragon Age 2, or I replayed Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2, I can't remember which. And after I finished a playthrough of that, which I did modded, bitch to fucking mod, by the way, I played Elden Ring again, and I fell in love with it. It was bad. I was like hyper fixated looking up a guide, so I got everything, doing all the side quests. I started playing off stream. Like, I didn't do like fight any major bosses, but if I was like having trouble getting something, that wasn't important, I would like go off stream, look up a guide on how to get it, and like it was bad. It was bad. And I actually even have a Elden Ring tattoo, which I don't know if I can show because I'm wearing pants. But I do have an Elden Ring tattoo, and it's officially my favorite game, and I'm actually going through and playing all the Dark Souls games when I come back to streaming, and it's a beautiful game. And it got me into playing so many different games that are like it. Like I also started playing a game called Neo 2, which is supposedly harder than all of the like Dark Souls games.
Harder than that? That's crazy. Is that the samurai one?
Yeah, well, it's a samurai. It's not Sekiro, and I think there's another one, but Neo is a different version of it. It's a Dark Souls game, but I don't think it's made by the same people that made Dark Souls.
I see.
So, but it's supposed to be harder because there's so many just options, and if you ever play, I highly recommend that you play with a controller. I almost said keyboard. Play with a controller, because there's twice the amount of buttons and just different abilities in gameplay wise that you can do with Neo than you can do with the Dark Souls game. So it's a lot of memorization, and it's a lot. But
yeah, it can be. I can imagine.
I was playing that shortly after I came back from TwitchCon. Yeah, after I came back from TwitchCon, and I still had my stiletto nails. Which you guys don't know, I got my nails done for TwitchCon, and I had stiletto nails about this long.
Oh, jeez.
And I was playing Neo 2 on a keyboard.
Oh, how did that go?
Actually, not that bad. I didn't do that bad of a job. I was kind of impressed. I kind of wanted to like call out all the Dark Souls players, because there's so many people that will go to great lengths and great extremes. Like there's that one girl who beat Elden Ring by using a dance mat or whatever.
That's crazy.
And surprisingly, no, somehow I was able to do it, and I've been wanting to kind of like talk to like a Dark Souls like streamer of some kind and be like, so what do you think of this? Like, could you do this? And would you PvP me doing this? Like, get somebody who's really good at PvPing in Dark Souls and then take me, somebody who's not good at Dark Souls and not good at PvPing, getting stiletto nails and seeing who can beat each other on keyboard. Because on controller it wouldn't be as bad, but computer, right. It's extremely hard.
Did you break any of those nails?
No, I wanted to, dude. I was like so close to just biting them off several times because I was just like, but I love them so much, and I naturally have longer nails. It's just they're not growing out because they're still kind of messed up from getting them done for TwitchCon last year. But yeah, surprisingly, no. I wanted to, though. Towards the end, I was like, I just want to play video games, man. Let me play video games again, please. I was like going crazy in my own head.
So, have you played Pal World yet?
I attempted it. I couldn't get into it. I'm not into like the whole building thing. It's just not for me. The hype has already kind of died down. Do you know how many people are still playing?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna check actually. But yeah, I'm just not into like I'm just not really into the whole building thing. I attempted it and then I was like, you know what, I need to save money anyway, so I ended up returning it on Steam. Yeah, it wasn't for me. I hear good things about it, just wasn't for me. I'm excited for everybody else though, and I'm glad that Pokemon has competition because Pokemon needed a boost.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear that Pal World was or is AI generated. Do you think that's true?
I think it was a bunch of people who want to get mad at something and tried to like force their anger into like it's like they try to project their anger onto something that wasn't even there, and then like the rumor came up, and I think there was somebody who thought something looked like I think pretty much what happened was there was somebody who thought that like for some reason they had like stretched out the like models or the skins for the model or something like that, and a lot of people were upset and started like spreading rumors that it was made by AI. And something that I have noticed, especially after COVID, and you know, I was talking about this earlier, I have a problem with this as well. I think everybody to a certain degree kind of has a problem with it, or can like do this at least, is taking like things that they're angry about and just like posting them. And for some reason people will have like for example, like Pal World, people will have the morality of, you know, don't support big companies. Big companies like are screwing over the little man and yada yada yada. But then Pal World comes out and they're like, they hear a rumor, which I am like 90% sure, which I'd have to double check, but I'm like 90% sure was debunked. Turned out it was just a rumor that people kind of spun and took crazy.
Weird.
And yeah, and turns out it wasn't true. And now there's like this weird like disbelief of not knowing whether it's AI or not, and this could have like you had people who I know like personally, some people who I have heard them preach on Twitter so heavily about like not supporting big companies because big companies screw over like smaller companies, fuck capitalism, yada yada yada. But then we'll be like, we have to message Nintendo and we have to message Game Freak about this. They're stealing their ideas. And you know, you have people who are posting the whole Dragon Quest original like monsters, and then you have the Pokemon Generation 1, and it's just like I don't know, it's kind of crazy. You know, it is. I feel like the whole Power World conversation is a prime example
Mhm.
of how people will kind of change like the way that they view things,
Right.
and to fit like this own version of something, just to like kind of suit the narrative that gives them the most brownie points
Right.
in that
Yeah.
scenario, especially like online. And it's very scary, and it's very it kind of goes into what I was saying earlier about like people have a problem with blurring the lines when it comes to like online things, whether it's content
Yeah.
creation or finding out personal information about a content creator or finding out things they may have done behind the scenes. It's like a
Yeah.
lot of people just don't want to sit back and kind of wait for more information to come out, or they just immediately say what's coming to their head the moment of. And when people are
Mhm.
like, hey, maybe this is not the case, maybe what about this, have you thought about this, and they're like, yeah, that's a really good point, but like my opinion, because
Yeah.
my opinion.
They have to be right. Everyone else is
Yeah,
wrong. Like that
yeah, it
toxic mentality.
and Pal World was a prime example of it, and it's
Mhm.
sad, and I'm glad to see so far nothing has came of it, but I'm sure Nintendo is keeping their eye out.
For sure. Yeah. So, going off the AI thing, what's your opinion on it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are your thoughts on it?
Overall AI, I mean, it that 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 topic, take a shot every single time I said that. I'm sorry, my speech impediment's so bad tonight.
You're good.
That topic alone can be so diverse because there are positive things about AI. I mean,
Of course.
AI has been showcased. Like, I think there is a recent study, or not study, there is this recent technological advancement that I think a student did. I believe it was a student, where she was able to take like sign language. I think it was sign language, and AI was able to read the sign language on her hand and put it into text,
Wow.
or something like that. And it's just when you take away AI altogether from like the possibility of making technological advancements,
Right.
especially with healthcare and education and stuff like that, you're taking away the possibility of helping
Mm.
dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of people.
Right.
But also it goes into the whole social thing where now not only as a woman you have to worry about like taking photos of yourself and like seeing, pictures, or not even seeing like pictures, but seeing your face on another person's body doing things that you were not doing.
Right.
And so there's also like the scary aspect of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like sometimes I feel like people should focus more on the heavier things when it comes to AI. Like, I understand that a lot of people are worried about art
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and that is definitely like something that people need to pay attention to.
Hmm.
But people will go on these angry rants and will spend sometimes even hours fighting with people on Twitter, and it's like, shouldn't I would understand doing that if they were focused more on the whole fact that, like, and awful people are taking photos of like children and
It's
victim
disgusting.
like women and trans people and putting them on, other people who are doing sexual acts. And that also affects sex workers as well, because you're taking their property,
Hmm.
especially if it's like something they're supposed to be making money off of, taking their property and ruining it. You're
Yeah. I
stealing their
mean,
property and like
that can
doing
be said
awful
about
things.
any kind of art. That AI just looks at all of these pictures and anything really, and just combines them in a way that makes it look like it's an actual thing. even though AI did it, it's ridiculous. And you can even just say something as a text message and you can turn into a video. You cannot tell the difference. It's crazy. So it's a good thing, like you're saying, and it's also people can take advantage of it, and it's not gonna be a good thing for some aspects. But most of the time, I think AI is a good thing, and it's just so ingrained in our culture that we can't even tell.
Exactly. I feel like sometimes, and I don't want to take away from artists and their feelings, especially about it, but sometimes you have to look at which is worse, you know, in AI taking, you know, and this is awful, definitely do not like approve or definitely do not advocate for people stealing other people's work, or somebody's child being on somebody's child's like face being on like something completely inappropriate. Like I feel like some people are like, it's like they're saying they're kind of putting them on the same pedestal, like the same level of priority, or putting more like of a face on the latter rather than what I think is more damaging from AI. And that is the fact that this will affect like and it will also affect, I was going to say this is mostly going to affect women and like, you know, children and feminine presenting, but also it's going to affect like men as well, like because you have to think of like politicians and things like that. So it's such a brash discussion that I feel like, yes, don't get me wrong, it focuses way too much on the whole art thing. It's just there's so many things that are so important to discuss about it rather than some person who is comfortable at home, whether they are making art as a hobby or making art like they're profiting from it. Like, that sucks, dude, and I really hope you get like whatever you deserve out of that situation if somebody did steal your art. But at the same time, how about we stop spending 10 hours on Twitter arguing about that, and we fucking focus on like the actual like people that are going out of their way to fucking ruin people's lives. That's the thing that pisses me off. You know what I mean? There's more important things.
There are, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, and there will be some bad actors. Bad actors, no matter the kind of technology we have, and these bad actors, they ruin it for everyone else. It really sucks.
Oh, it really does. Somebody takes something, you know, that can be and is being used in certain ways for a good thing, and then making terrible things, like just things we don't need. Like it's so unnecessary, but it's the world we live in. You know, we see it a lot with Twitch too. Some not regarding AI, but just like certain, like I think it was the artistic nudity thing that they were trying to allow, so people could artistically just draw people nude, like kind of similar to like, you know, the Greeks would draw. And then you had people who completely took advantage of that, and it ruined it for everybody. It sucks, but it's the world we live in.
Yeah, it is. So what do you think about the Twitch culture in regards to that? I mean, Twitch reverting the rule is a good thing. So what do you think about that?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Oh gosh. Can I just say, I love being a woman on the internet.
Okay.
Second, I feel like this discussion is very kind of troubling, kind of difficult to talk about, like especially when you are a woman, because especially if you come from the stance that I'm going to get to, there are a lot of things on both sides of the sphere of both Twitch and Twitch streamers that I feel like isn't really addressed, and when it is, it's very much like I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
I feel like both sides are to play to the parts of Twitch culture that are just terrible.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm trying to think of like a prime example. Like I guess the most recent one was like, you know, the whole like topless meta that was going on.
Yeah.
It's like I respect that, you know, I respect what people have to do to make money or support the type of lifestyle that they're doing, and I understand as somebody who grew up dirt poor, doing things that are borderline breaking the rules in order to not even get ahead, but get to the same level that everybody else is.
Get some attention onto you and pay those bills.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
reality.
And I totally love that, you know, women are able to do that. And I think there are so many ways that it is healthily done. I think there are so many creators who do it in a good way, that kind of mix their sexual content with Twitch. For example, I think Peach Stars is a prime example. She's like, I believe, part of the 1% on OnlyFans. She's a very high creator on OnlyFans, but she doesn't necessarily put like anything that's NSFW on her stream. She'll talk about him, but she won't like put those type of things, and I really respect that, because at the end of the day, Twitch is it's not even like a gaming platform. It's the fact that like that type of content is accessible to children, and you can't use the argument with Aiden Ross that, you know, he can be what's the word, inspiring kids to do like inappropriate things. Like not only Aiden Ross, like IceSpeed, XQC, Aiden Ross, you know, they can't be gambling because that's, you know, that's inspiring kids to gamble. That's influencing, that's the word I was looking for. That's influencing kids to do the wrong thing, influencing kids to go on the wrong websites, yada yada yada. But then you have those same people that will say the opposite when it comes to either a woman or somebody feminine presenting with oiled up milkers taking up half the screen. In my opinion, there's a difference between somebody who just has a large chest, who is wearing a cute top that they like, and they just happen to have a large chest, and you know, shit happens. They're just born that way. They like that top. They can't choose to have big titties. And then there are people who go out of their way to show that illicit content, who know what they're doing. And I think it is a mixture of both ignorance of those people, like just trying to get by and do what they want to do, like look at me, yay, and like I totally understand that, and I give leeway to those people. But then there are people who know for a fact what the fuck they're doing. Those are the same people who are also going on TikTok and, you know, knowing that half of their audience is young girls, like either teenage girls or girls, and they're very vulnerable 18, 19, 20 year old, being like, oh yeah, just get into OnlyFans, just get into sex work, this is what I did, it's super easy, you don't even have to show your face, you don't even have to, you can just sell feet pics, you can just do it's not talked enough, I feel like, by women, and whenever it is, I feel like it's done in a way that's very like negative on women, that's very that kind of caters towards like an incelish or misogynistic mindset rather than causing a educational discussion. And you know, that goes into the whole like creator aspect and why it's a problem. But Twitch, if we go into the history of Twitch has had this weird, and it's been a problem since fucking way before I started streaming. With the original titty streamers. The original titty streamers of Twitch. Shout out to Casey Tron, love you, girl.
She's great.
Yeah, she is great. I fucking love her. But there are. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I started thinking about Casey Tron, and my mind became like all fuzzy. Twitch has created kind of this weird dynamic that kind of caters to the idea of letting people slide on the guidelines, like tiptoe between what is appropriate and what is not. And it is very prevalent with the way that they have treated some of their top creators, especially some of those that, I hate to say that, are women. And it's also at the same time not their fault, because guess what? The women don't even know who's doing this. And you have creators who are the 1%, and I'm going to use Moist Critical as an example because he even talked about this when the whole Alinity thing was going on. When people, the last fire roast of Alinity, where people are like, she should have gotten banned longer, she's sleeping with somebody on Twitch, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, listen, guys, nobody knows who the banning team is. Like, we do not know. My representative for Twitch doesn't know. I don't know. XQC doesn't know. Like, Soda Poppin doesn't. Nobody knows.
We should.
Yes, and we should, because it especially like it's so weird just kind of having this mysterious shroud around the people that are dictating what is allowed and what is not allowed. And there is clear favoritism, not necessarily whether it's known or not known to the public. There is clear favoritism with certain creators. You have some creators who have broken the rules dozens of times that just don't get banned, or when they do get banned, it's like not the right amount of time. So then you have the fault of Twitch, who is just not being frequent and just not sticking by their TOS. Like YouTube, like don't get me wrong, YouTube has had issues with this in the past. But if you look at YouTube, especially now, and you look at Twitch, whether you're talking about a streaming platform, if you're just talking about them on like two platforms that allow some form of video entertainment, YouTube is so much better at regulating and allowing like the same type of guideline TOS. This is allowed, but this is not allowed. And you can tell because you hear YouTubers complain about, oh, I can't cuss in the first 10 seconds, guys. I can't cuss. And that affects everybody. You had PewDiePie, who fucking would cuss all the time, complaining about that. To fucking smaller YouTubers who have like 100,000, like one of my favorite, I think her name's Angelina Oaks or something. She's a poetry YouTuber. She only has a couple 100K, and she's like, I can't cuss in the first like 10-30 seconds of my video because I'll get demonetized. And then you go on Twitch and you have this person who has a fucking, who knows when they'll get banned because somebody in their Twitch chat said something inappropriate or said something racist. Doesn't even isn't even them. But then you'll have a Twitch creator who is known for putting explicit content on their streams, not being dressed appropriately for the stream that they're doing, the type of stream that they're doing, and getting a ban that's a day.
It's stupid.
it's
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I kind of went on to like a little rant there,
No,
but it's just like
it's fine.
it's both sides. It's literally
Yeah.
both sides, and like it's hard talking about it, especially like there's been a couple times where I've been like, and I really try to, especially after this realization that I just need to be more kind with my verbiage on social media, because you can't read tone and you can't read body language through text. So I try to be
Yeah.
more either educational or just kind spirited with my response towards people on especially Twitter. But even then, there's been a couple occasions where I've been like, hey, like, don't you think this isn't really the best thing? Because not, and that's another thing. Like, this type of like negative attention affects women who are not part of the sex industry, like me. Like, as much as like I joke about sex and like I'm not afraid to post like, you know, boudoir photos on Instagram or stuff like that, I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't have a sex thing. And I have people constantly fucking asking me, when's your OnlyFans? Where's your OnlyFans? When is your OnlyFans gonna drop? Da 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 da. You look like this OnlyFans creator. Can you work with her? And stuff like that. And it's so like they don't realize that this affects other women as well. And
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just such a big conversation, and then you try to talk about it as a woman, and especially a woman that's kind of like, hey, I love boobs too, but like, listen, there are some negatives to this. Can we talk about that so we can create a healthy environment for like both sides? And people just get so angry and just like are immediately like, you hate women. And I'm like, what? No. I love women. Like, that's why I want to talk about this and build a healthy environment for everybody. But everybody is so like, ah! And I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean,
why?
Some people are just behave so much with toxic behavior. It's like it's hard to tell.
And like I said earlier, that's part of the reason I had to step back, is because I started getting like that, and I was just like, no, I don't want my content being like that. So, you know, it gets frustrating. It gets frustrating.
At the end of the day, it is your stream, your content, and if you want to make a life, do it. If you don't have to. So.
Exactly.
It's really unfortunate people think they're entitled that they say one thing and someone has to pay attention to it. They have to do it, or, you know, I'm not gonna watch them. Like, for example, that's what they would say. It's just that behavior it's toxic, and really understand why you are taking a break, because streaming it takes a toll on you.
It really does. I think even Hassan, getting back into the whole Twitter thing, Hassan like tweeted about that, about like how he's so socially drained, and people were like fucking exploding on him. And I'm like, whether you like Hassan or not, like streaming and talking for like 9 hours, hell, even 3, is sometimes socially draining, especially like when you do have a real job, that is focused on like pleasing others. Like streaming in a sense is a form of entertainment, is a form of pleasing others, whether you are very like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, there is a form of sacrifice that comes with streaming that I feel like people just don't. Like, we talk about, like, we make jokes like, oh, touch grass, and like there are some people who literally cannot, because they're streaming 10 hours a day because they want to be able to like just make affiliate. But Hassan lives in a big fancy house, so it's his opinion's invalid. So I don't know, it's just wild.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, so many people that do stream don't realize that you still have to have a real job as well. I was saying just on Twitter earlier today that if you were like 95% or even more are they can't have sustainable income from Twitch.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just like, especially after COVID, you saw like a huge influx of people who wanted to become Twitch streamers and YouTubers.
They thought it was easy.
And it's like, it's not. You see the same people who are like, oh yeah, it's so easy, and then they attempt it and they get like 25 subscribers on YouTube, and it's like there are sacrifices in any form of job.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing it to make money or like I don't know. It's just it's so weird and so silly. It's kind of like I feel like there's also like this weird thing where people just can't admit that sometimes people have it worse than you. It's just like I don't know what it is, or the vice versa, or some people just can't realize just because somebody was born with a certain amount of privilege or born with a lot of privilege that like they can't control that as long as they are using that privilege to accomplish and do things that are positive and healthy. Like why does it matter? And or it's the opposite, like I was saying, or they just can't accept that some people just have it harder than them. Like I don't know. I just like there are certain streamers who like, especially like going to TwitchCon and everything, you kind of get hit with a kind of like a block of realization, like, oh my god, everybody here is a human being. What?
Yeah. Shocking.
They have skin with pores and crooked tooth and like wow, it's kind of, it really humanizes you and like humanizes the people that you're talking to, because especially like going back to the whole BPD thing, like if you have a mood disorder like BPD, you tend to put people on a pedestal and look at people on a higher, sometimes look at people on like they're better than you in certain ways.
Right.
And
like the whole parasocial thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a completely other subject. Jesus.
So does anybody in the chat have any questions for Andraste or myself? I think we're doing good here on time, so.
By the way, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm glad that you were still willing to have me, even after I was like, hey, I'm gonna take a break, but I still want to do this. Please.
Yeah, anytime. It's something that I just decided, you know what, I just want to pursue this and see where it goes. Maybe I can interview these top streamers one day. Imagine if I interview Moist Critical or even, let's see, kind of more toxic, but XQC.
You know what, dude? I say interview whoever you want to interview. Like
exactly, gotta start somewhere, and I'm glad I got this community.
Exactly. Like, it's also, it would be nice hearing like somebody like talk to somebody who's not afraid to talk to people and kind of like get to know them in a more humanized way versus just like you said this bad thing and I'm going to hold you that as your entire personality.
Yeah, you said this thing 20 years ago. Now you're gonna be held accountable for it.
Yeah, and like also it would be kind of fun dissecting those kind of people too, like finding out like why XQC is the way he is, because like I said, I used to be a huge Soda Poppin' fan, and you know, seeing where XQC was then and where he is now, it's just like he's something changed. So it would be interesting to see somebody like you like talk to him about it and definitely. I had so much fun, so I'd love to see you like do something like that and have the opportunity.
That'd be great. So Praetorian in the chat has a question. Have you read any good books lately?
I'm actually I hit my microphone. Most of my books are up right now because I am packing. But I did keep one book out. I actually started getting to spirituality this year because I realized like one thing that I was like really lacking in my own personal life was some form of spirituality. And so I actually have been reading this book. Where is it? I've been reading this book called Priestess of the Morgan. I'm about like halfway through it. But it just covers like the kind of history and like different ways to worship a deity called the Morgan, who focuses like on like death and like life and a lot of Celtic mythology because I'm Scottish Irish. So that's like another thing I've been working on to kind of like, you know, just kind of help chill things out and like, you know, relate to not only life but nature as well. So, but yeah, I've been currently reading that. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice. So, something else in the chat. Legend or Founded. Are you planning on returning to Smite or wait till Smite 2?
Actually have been getting a slight urge to get back into Smite since the Smite 2 thing announcement. It was also like a good way to like play games with my community. I'm very bad at playing games with other people. Growing up playing solo games my entire life, I don't know, I just kind of am a lone wolf when it comes to like streaming and video games, I feel like. But Smite was like one of the times that I had so much fun playing with other people, and I want to add that eventually. It just kind of depends like how soon I'm able to deal with like the whole personal environment thing, how close Smite 2 comes out, how much they change compared to Smite 1, whether it's just like Overwatch 2. The main thing I worry about is building in the game. They've changed a lot of things and I just wouldn't know where to start, so that's like the biggest thing I'm worried about. But hopefully soon. I do want to go back to it eventually. I like to make sure everybody feels welcome and entertained, so I'll start reading other people's chats, but some streamers don't like that. So I'm like, do I read chat and try to be entertaining? Will they be annoyed if I just start making some random noises and talking? So like this goes into my whole social anxiety thing. I'm like, sometimes I just don't know whether I should try to be funny or I should not, because that's the thing where I fall flat. Sometimes I try to be funny and it's just the wrong time. You're either like not acquainted enough with the crowd, or
that makes good content,
or it embarrasses the fuck out of me.
I think that's the point.
No. Oh, the amount of times I've said something, I'm like, y'all don't know me well enough, I'll be leaving.
We do like goofy around stage.
Oh, thank you. And a big shout out to everybody who came. I saw a lot of people in my community and I really, really do appreciate that. So if you are part of the Andraste crew, I need a nickname for my followers. I don't have one. I think we decided on something and I can't remember what it is because it was
all this time. You can't come up with something?
I feel like we did, and I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now, because I think it was something silly. I remember Praetorian said it. I can't remember what it is. Maybe like the Booger Suckers or something. I don't remember.
Booger Suckers?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Worm Army?
It might have been the Worm Army. I can't remember. It's one of the two.
See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace. cool.